So for Christmas, I was very lucky to get the Maschine. Now, this is the Maschine Macro, which is the smaller version of their main one, which comes with fancy LCD screens, but at twice the price. This is half the price and does pretty much everything that that one does. Now, why have I got one when I've got all of these other instruments and Logic and Luna and everything else? Well, first, a number of reasons. First of all, for arranging. Wanted to find new ways to arrange tunes, because it's, if you're like you do loop-based music, like I do, it's a fun way to find new arrangements in loops. It's also just like having another instrument. You get to come up with ideas in a different way, explore different ways of making music. So it keeps you creative and keeps you trying to think as well, especially when you get old like me. And learning a new toy like this is it's fun to learn. You know, it's always good to learn new things. Now, they've been around a long time, these kind of standalone units for creating music, but it's not really standalone unit because you need a laptop computer to run it. It's got no audio inputs and outputs of its own, so you need the your whatever you're using in your studio for your audio. But it comes with a whole load of sounds and presets, which are all very great. Like, for example, it comes with lots of drum machines. And I found very quickly, I've only been on it a couple of days, very quickly I was able to put together a drum machine that I liked out of the sounds that came with it by copying and pasting in the actual software it comes with. I couldn't find a way of doing it on this itself, but right, so I could choose a load of sounds that I liked and have my own drum kit, which I can then load up. One of the things I wanted it for was for the sampling. So yeah, you can sample through it. There are no inputs on the actual machine itself. You still got to do your audio connections through whatever device you're using to do that. But it comes with stem split, and then so you can take a sample, split it into the bass, drums and vocals, which is really nice. Then you can slice it, and then those slices can be put across all these pads. So I'm still learning this machine, so I'm trying to get used to it. I think if I go to here, yeah. So here I've split a vocal up. Oh, that's on keyboard pad mode, sorry. So it split all these vocal things out onto different pads for me. And it did that fast. So it saves a lot of work time and fun. But if you're working on loops, right, and you've got a few things running like this. So I started off with this idea, for example. You can then copy that idea over and then change it, yeah, to try and start writing and creating different arrangements. For example, like I copied that over, yeah, and added the hi-hats in as we would, or a drop. And of course you can cut between those, in between the bars, yeah, so you don't have to, it doesn't wait for the next bar to arrive to actually change, which is really nice. So you can try version ideas out on that. I then tried a completely different idea on it, which is this. I'll start that again, right? Which is kind of a different feel, yeah? So that way you can go, oh yeah, not so sure I like the first idea, or does it work or not work, and then work out how to create arrangements around those ideas. And back to that one. Or a slightly different drop again. But the point is that you can swap your arrangements around and try to get an idea of what works. One of the other reasons I got Maschine was for the pads, because for years I've been like doing all my drum machine beats on a keyboard, and which is fine. But the luxury of having pads, and these pads in particular, are really nice because they're really sensitive. Yeah, they're nice. So it comes with quantise, but only like full on or half amount, 50%. I haven't seen a function to reduce that further. But quantise is a really important point in music. Personality comes out in people with their timing. It's their timing that gives their feel for the instrument they're playing. Now, if you go and quantize it, of course, what's going to happen is you're going to remove that bit of personality. Some people like play really behind the beat a lot or in front of the beat. That happens a lot, and if you quantize it, you get rid of that feel, the what that person has. Especially for me in my drumming, if I quantize it, it's a nightmare because I'm often so far out that it just destroys the rhythm that you're trying to do. So be very careful quantizing. On this, here's another thing I've noticed as well between like Luna and Logic and other recording ones. But going back to the Atari, which I started doing my MIDI recording on an Atari, the timing on that was excellent. And I've noticed that the timing on modern computers is just not as good. Not just like firing out the note on the beat, but if you record something and play it back, sometimes it sounds different when you play it back. Especially, I've noticed this in Luna as well. That you record a part in and you play it back and go, that isn't quite what I played, I'm sure. This, though, seems pretty good. If it's doing beats, it seems really sensitive, like it plays back exactly as you played it. It does seem to that. It sounds crazy to think that these massively fast computers aren't accurately capturing when the note was played and things are slightly changed. It seems odd to me, but it does seem to happen. Anyway, be careful of quantization. If you're playing a drum part, practice it a few times. Try and get it right before you hit the quantize button.